What's up, everybody? It's your man Rev, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Rated Rev, right here on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Smash that like and hit the subscribe button. You know how we do. From week to week, we bring you that heat. So clear the table. It's time to eat. Let's get it.
Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in all season long. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props, parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional customer service, BetUS.com has you covered. Visit BetUS.com to sign up today. BetUS, where the game begins.
What up, Buffalo Fanatics? What's going on? It's your man Rev, bringing you a special Thursday Night Live edition of Rated Rev, brought to you by BetUS on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Y'all company, you already know what time it is, baby. Shout out to everybody who's joining me live right now. Let's get it started popping. Let's do it the right way. Smash that like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on those bell notifications if you have not already done so. And this is a roll call, ladies and gentlemen. I need to know where you're watching the show from. So go ahead and do me that favor, put it in the chat right now. Hope you like this new music I got going on in the background. A little Christmas winter trap music, so to speak, going on. You know how we do it, baby. We got to keep it popping. Chris 716 coming in from the south side Buffalo. What's up, Chris? Donnie Foster, New Jersey. What's happening, everybody? Good to see you. Amicus from South Carolina. What's happening? Heather Hathaway, all the way from Big Belton in the house. My man Jeffrey Green coming in from 585. What's happening? You guys hop up in here, baby. Smash that like. Let's get this thing popping. John Sargevant, Rochester, New York. What's good? Joshua Castro, Salinas Cali, 831. Much love back to you, baby. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm so excited to be here with you guys for a Thursday Night Live edition. James, all the way from Niagara, Canada. What's happening? Pink Panther from Lubbock, Texas. What's up? All the way from Lubbock. Ricky Graves, Auburn, New York. Man, look at the chat already going off, man. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody in here right now. I see my man Sweat coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana. What's happening, Sweat? Shout out to you, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you guys are ready for tonight's show. Guaranteed to be a very good show indeed. And so far so good. Not having any Wi-Fi connection issues. Knock on wood that thing stays strong tonight. You already know how it went down last week, which is why I had to switch it to Thursday night last week. Today I had to make some things, had to switch some things up, had a little engagement yesterday, which is why I didn't have my show yesterday, but I am glad that you guys were able to make the switch with me tonight. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody who's watching live right now, whether you're watching on YouTube Live or you're watching on Facebook or Twitter. Shout out to you guys. I wish the very best for everybody, to all of your families during this holiday season. May God's blessings be upon everybody, man. Grace and peace to everybody who's watching. And to those who will watch on the replay, what's up? Happy holidays from your man Rev. And to those who are listening via podcast format, happy holidays to you as well. Tonight we have got a jam-packed show, no doubt. No doubt we've got a jam-packed show. And it is on the heels of Thursday Night Football as the Jacksonville Jaguars are going into town to play the New Jersey Jets. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be watching that game. I'm not too sure right now. It seems like a snooze fest, in my opinion. But nevertheless, it's football. Maybe we'll catch it a little bit here going on right now tonight. But shout out to everybody who's watching me live right now. There hasn't been a whole lot of Buffalo Bills news this week. I guess because, a lot of it was last week, especially as the Bills completed their revenge tour in the AFC East, which we will get into shortly. But there was a little bit of news around the NFL anyway that I definitely want to get into. Starting off, first and foremost, my deepest condolences and my prayers go out to the family and the friends and the loved ones of Pro Football Hall of Famer Franco Harris, who passed away a few days ago. I'll keep it 100. He was before my time as a player, so I don't really know a whole lot about him. But no doubt, he was undoubtedly a great football player and a great man, and he will undoubtedly be missed by those he impacted on and off the field. So I wanted to take this time right now on this show to go ahead and pay my respects. So rest in peace to Franco Harris. I know he will be missed indeed, especially to all those Pittsburgh Steelers fans out there around the world. In case you also didn't know, this news came out. NFL Sunday Ticket has finally moved away from that dreadful DirecTV and is now making its way to YouTube TV. That news just came out today. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm excited about it. I'm anxious to know what that's going to look like. I have not gotten the Sunday Ticket on that package in quite some time. That was, in my opinion, a huge ripoff. So I hope the NFL has figured things out by moving to YouTube TV. I wonder, if they're going to make us break the bank. I don't know what that's going to look like. But I'm glad that it's finally off DirecTV and they made the switch to YouTube TV. So we'll see what that looks like from here on out. But like I said, I haven't been on the Sunday Ticket. I'm on DirecTV for quite some time, and I say DirecTV, not necessarily saying that I don't have it. I just had to use other means in which to get said NFL Sunday Ticket. But I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, so I'm excited about that, man. I've got my man Evan in the background. I'm so glad that he's finally back. My man Evan has been hard at it in school and college. And so he's been away for a little bit. And so I want to, Evan, give me the thumbs up, man, if you're ready. I want to bring him on real quickly just to kind of show his face, let everybody know what he's been up to and his thoughts on this Sunday Ticket move to YouTube TV. Evan, give me a thumbs up, man, if you're ready. You ready? You good? Here he is. Look at my man. Evan, what's good? How you been, baby?
I'm good. Just the first official week of no college. Just got my grades in finally. Got some good news with that. Back on the dean's list. But it's officially good to be back. Doing Z-Bot on Monday and then Rico on Tuesday. And back here with you, not on a Wednesday, but on a Thursday. It's good to kind of hit back on all the shows, and then I'll probably be back on for the pregame show this Saturday as well. But it's just, college, it's off my shoulders. I get a nice little month and a half break, and we're finally back.
Yeah, it's good to have you, man. Congratulations, bro, on the dean's list, man. That's no easy task, man. So shout out to you, man, for that. Yeah. How have you been keeping up, man, with Bills news since you've been hard at it, man, in the books?
Yeah, no, it's been much harder, I would say, to keep up with just Bills news day to day. When I was in high school, I would say, I was able to just kind of go on it all the time. Just because you're in high school, you can be on your phone in class, and
Yeah.
whether that's at lunch or gym or whatever. But
Right.
now, I have to study when I would like to pay more attention to some more statistics, watch more film, or just keep up with the injury report and these press conferences that go on every day with the Bills. So it's been a little more harder. Plus, just me with my involvement in college hockey as well. That's like just something else that I've had to not be able to pay attention as much to Bills football. But I've still tried to pay as much attention as I can. I've been to every home game this year, and I've watched every game as much as I can. And I've rewatched games when I had the chance to, but it's been a lot to try to just balance Bills, hockey, Sabres, and then everything else you got going on.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Bills' record right now? 11-3, what they've been doing on a 5-game winning streak right now. How you feel about that?
Well, I mean, the Bills are on a 5-game winning streak. They're 11-3. They got the first seed in the AFC right now. It doesn't get much better than that. It really can't get much better than that, to be honest. And last year around this point in time, the Bills had an 8-6 record, and they were getting questioned if they were even going to make the playoffs at a point in time. And I think as Bills fans right now, yes, there are certain things with this team that still need to get better. You would like to see the offense get a little bit better, maybe the defense tighten a little bit in the back end. But like I said last year, the Bills were 8-6 and getting questioned to make the playoffs. You know, a team that's 8-6 right now and getting questioned to make the playoffs, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So again, Bills fans, we have a lot better situations going on right now than most teams. And there's really only 3 teams that can be in our situation, or 2 other teams, the Chiefs and the Bengals. And the Bills are one of those top 3 teams in the AFC right now, and they're at the top of it right now, record-wise. So we're rolling, we're moving, we're on a 5-game winning streak, and we're looking to close and kind of come in on that 1 seed. So just got to take it with a grain of salt, but it's been good.
It's definitely it's definitely different, man. Right? I mean, when you put things in perspective and you look back at where they were last year, like you had mentioned, I tell you what, man, I was one of those guys last year. Maybe you remember, Ev, man. I was like, yo, are they going to make the playoffs? Because they hit a skid last year where it was very questionable, right? Where the Patriots were, had the lead in the division, and I mean, up until like through December, I think, this time, like through December, like the Bills, they had to go on a win streak. And then because the Patriots kind of fell off the last 4 games, gave the Bills the edge and allowed them to kind of get back on top of things. But now we're sitting here looking at 11-3, and even though that they've gone through adversity and the injuries, and then the way like the offense hasn't been looking, at the end of the day, we are 11-3, which is a huge difference from last year. And correct me if I'm wrong, like the Bills on offense, man, they're scoring more points this year than they had last year at this time too. So it's like the Bills, even though like the Bills don't look as flashy or as dominant, I guess you can say, as they did like towards the tail end of last year going into the playoffs, this team is probably better than what it was last year, and they're doing well. I mean, and had a much tougher schedule this year as well too, man. So I guess we can all relax. And perhaps that's just because the bar of expectations is like so high for this team, and you just expect them to dominate every single week and look even better. And even though we got those 3 L's on the ledger, it seems to me that the Bills should be undefeated right now when you look at the losses and the way they lost. But still, nevertheless, man, they got the number 1 seed. We're first place in the AFC East, and everything's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of backtracking a little bit more really quick, just throughout the season, I don't know where this kind of statistic still lies, but I'm pretty sure at a point in time, the Bills were the 2nd most injured team in the National Football League, still with an 11-3 record. Yeah. Last year, the Bills were, 8-6 at this point in time. They had a couple injuries, but nowhere as near as the injuries the Bills have piled up this season. And also, this is a team that's only lost 3 games with a combined score of 8 points. Just think about that.
Right.
3 games this year, we've lost by a combined of 1 score.
Mm-hmm. That's
This
crazy,
is a
man. That's
team
like
that
unheard of.
it's hard to beat this football team. And this is a team, again, that is 11-3. They have 3 more games left, and they have a chance to close in on that 1 seed and get it.
Yeah.
If, they beat the Bears, Bengals, and Patriots. And this is a team that has fought through a lot of adversity all season long. And the adversity now with no Von Miller, so, some injuries on the defensive line, having Mitch Morse out on the offensive line.
Yeah.
They're going to have to fight through that. But what have they been doing all season long for 14 games? Fighting through, showing their adversity.
Yeah.
And they're only going to continue to do that. So, again, I'm really comfortable with where we're sitting at 11-3.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think the Bills in the driver's seat. It's all up to them how they want to close this out. And I think well, I'll talk about it. I don't want to get too far into it. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we're definitely going to talk about it here shortly. So Evan, I'm gonna go ahead and put you back in the back, and I'm gonna bring you out here shortly, man. You guys give a shout out to my man Evan. Evan, matter of fact, somebody shouted you out. Say congrats. I think it was Namdi. He said congrats, man, on the
Thank you.
on the Dean's list, man. On the Dean's list. Yeah, I'm trying to find the comment. I can't find it now. I lost it. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it scrolling through. But yeah, thank you, Saw. Thanks for that. It's it's a nice little pat on the back moment for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shout out to Evan. All right, Evan, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks.
So, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that's my man Evan, and I need you guys, man, to drop some fire emojis or some mics in there for my man Evan. It's he's been missed. He has definitely been missed, but he's been hard at it, working hard in college, man, and made the Dean's list. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, shout out to him, and I'm glad that he is definitely back. You know what time it is? You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for First and 10, baby. Let's get it. First and 10.
It's First and 10.
First and 10, leadoff topic of the show. Let's jump into it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Buffalo fanatics, Bills Mafia all around the world, your Buffalo Bills are playoff bound. How does that sound? After their last second win against the Miami Dolphins last week on the leg of Tyler Bass in the snow, the Buffalo Bills edged out the Dolphins 32-29, punching their ticket to the playoffs for the 5th time in the Sean McDermott era. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills for that accomplishment. It's no easy accomplishment, but congratulations to the entire team, the entire organization, because they are playoff bound, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, right? When we look at the schedule, the Bills had played a very tough schedule this year. And on top of playing a tough schedule this year, they had endured extreme adversity. Like Evan just mentioned, they're probably one of the most injured teams in the National Football League. And not just injured from a standpoint of, they've got, some of their, backups that are injured. No. They have sustained incredible injuries to their starters, key guys on both the offense and the defensive side of the ball. And in spite of that, they have still managed to punch their ticket into the playoffs. And they are currently sitting at the number 1 seed in the AFC and are on top comfortably, might I say, comfortably on top of the AFC East division. So that was a huge accomplishment for the Buffalo Bills last week. And granted, it didn't look pretty, right? It hasn't looked pretty. The way the Bills have won this year, especially after the bye week, since the bye week, the way they've won hasn't looked pretty. It hasn't looked as good as it had the first half of the season, nor had it looked as good as last year, especially towards the tail end of the year and into the playoffs. We have been so accustomed to the Bills blowing teams out in remarkable fashion. And I know that I have been waiting for that. I've been used to it. Call me spoiled. I still want to see it. I still want to see it. But at the end of the day, and like Sean McDermott has said, and this is like their mantra this year, this team has found a way to win these games. And aren't you glad that the Buffalo Bills have set ablaze that old narrative that the Bills can't win close games? I mean, because the Bills have found a way to win these games for several weeks now. They've won close games for several weeks. Granted, do they have room to improve still? Yes, absolutely. In certain aspects of their game, I think their third quarter offense needs to step up. There's issues on the defensive side of the ball. Third down defense need to step up. Tackling, they need to get better. There's areas in which the team can still improve upon, right? But they're still 11-3 and still find ways to win these games. And when the game is on the line and they need to win, down by one score or whatever the case may be, you can bet your bottom dollar, whatever the case may be, that Josh Allen will lead this team to victory in crunch time. I know it's nerve-wracking. I know we don't like it. It's bad on our heart. It's bad on our anxiety. But nevertheless, we have Josh Allen and some dogs on this team who fight tooth and toenail until the final whistle. Josh Allen is him. Okay? Stephon Diggs is him. And like my man Pierre says, remember who we have. Josh Allen. As long as we have that guy, we are in every single game. Every single game. And I'm excited about it. I am excited about it. The Bills are playoff bound. So congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. Also, I want to give a huge shout out and congratulations, man, to our 2022-2023 Pro Bowl selection players. Look at these guys, these handsome gentlemen. From left to right, we've got Stephon Diggs, Jordan Poyer, Josh Allen, and Mitch Morse. These 4 Buffalo Bills players have not only punched their tickets into the playoffs, but they have punched their tickets into the NFL Pro Bowl. Shout out to them. And 2 of which, and Jordan Poyer and Mitch Morse, have made it for their first time in their careers. That's remarkable, right? That's remarkable because, when you think about it, we all expect Josh Allen to get in there. We expect Diggs to get in there. How many times have we expected Jordan Poyer to get in? In all of these years, as great as he's played, he has not made it. And same goes for Mitch Morse. How these 2 players in all of these years were never made the Pro Bowl. I don't understand it. I know the Pro Bowl is like a popularity contest, but when you look at these guys, the numbers and the way they've been playing their careers, it's hard. It's hard to leave these guys out. And what was funny last year was how they didn't give Jordan Poyer the Pro Bowl nod, but instead they made him a first team All-Pro player, which is kind of weird. It's a little backwards to me, But nevertheless, he finally got it. And so I'm excited for my man, Jordan Poyer, who also, in case you didn't know, he secured a bag, right? And Jordan Poyer earned $500,000 in a Pro Bowl incentive this year too for making it. So for those who think that Pro Bowls don't matter, they may not matter too much to fans like you and I, but they definitely matter to players, especially when they have those incentives attached to their contract. You guarantee these guys think that Pro Bowls matter. And Jordan Poyer's been itching to get one, and he finally got one, and he secured the bag on top of that. So shout out to my man Jordan Poyer, and shout out to my man Mitch Morse. This guy, I don't know how you all feel about it, but in my opinion, Mitch Morse has to be one of the most valuable players on this Buffalo Bills team. He has to be. The way this guy plays, he's Mr. Steady Eddie, Mr. Consistent, right? Very rarely does he miss games. He's a very, very underrated, in my opinion, center in the National Football League. But this guy is a phenomenal player. When you watch this tape and you see the way he plays, you see from the jump, as soon as he's signed to the Buffalo Bills, you've seen how much he elevated Josh Allen's game. And I know that may sound kind of weird, right? Because we immediately think of the skill position players, right? Like Stephon Diggs. Now Stephon Diggs elevated Josh Allen's play. And though that may be true, well, there's no maybe, it is true. Though it is true, the fact of the matter still remains that Mitch Morse, without Mitch Morse, I don't know how Josh Allen would have developed as he has developed without having that quality center. And it's more than just pass protection and run blocking. It's the smarts. It's how he's able to teach Josh. It's how he's able to call, offenses and call this and call the checks on the O-line. It's what he brings to the table from an intellectual standpoint and a professional standpoint. Mitch Morse, man, has been every bit as valuable to Josh Allen's career arc as anybody else on this team. And so then when he's out of the game, when he's not playing, you can definitely feel his presence missed, right? Definitely can feel his presence missed. And so, I want to give my shout out to Mitch Morse too, man. I'm so glad that he's finally earned some recognition, right? He and Jordan Poyer, man, phenomenal players. And I'm glad that we have these guys on our team, and I'm glad they're finally getting the national media recognition that they deserve. Shout out to them. But I cannot mention the Pro Bowl and these Bills Pro Bowl players, right? The guys who've made it. Let's take a look at him one more time, right? Stephon Diggs, Jordan Poyer, Josh Allen, and Mitch Morse. As excited as we are at these guys for making it, good and darn well, we have to talk about some stuff, right? We got to talk about some Pro Bowl snubs, right? We got to talk about Pro Bowl snubs, man, because I know that when this list came out, and we saw the guys that made it, there has to be some players. As excited as you are for these four gentlemen, right? There has to be some players on this team that you were shocked that did not make the Pro Bowl. I know it. I know there were. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring Evan back on because I want to get his opinion on not just the four who made the Pro Bowl, but potential Pro Bowl snubs on this team. Evan, hop back in here, baby. Hop back in here, Evan. All right, man. So look, we saw the guys here, right? Stephon Diggs, Jordan Poyer, Josh Allen, and Mitch Morse. First of all, talk to me about those guys making it, and especially Jordan Poyer and Mitch Morse finally making it for the first time in their career.
Yeah, so obviously every single season, I think Bills fans expect 17 and 14 to kind of make the Pro Bowl kind of as shoo-ins, just because not only name value, but just the way they, produce on the field. 17 and 14, no doubt they're deserving to get in every single season with the way they perform. Jordan Poyer, it's about time. It is about time that Jordan Poyer, number 21, safety for the Bills, finally got the recognition he deserves. And he got his first Pro Bowl nod. Now, it's cool that he got the Pro Bowl. I'm just happy that he got his bag, like you said, that extra $500,000 he can stick in his back pocket because we know the kind of contract negotiations he's talking about. So he gets a little bit of money there. And then Mitch Morse.
Yeah.
Ever since Mitch Morse came here, signing over from Kansas City in 2018, Morse has been just super steady, consistent, and reliable for Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills offense. He's having a fantastic season, and rightfully so. He deserves it. Now, there's not too many centers that can get voted into the Pro Bowl, but Morse got the nod, and rightfully so. He deserved it. So are we jumping right into Pro Bowl snubs, or are you going to start that off?
Yeah. Let's go right into Pro Bowl snubs. So when you look at the guys, the four who made it, who do you think is a Pro Bowl snub on this team, and who do you expect to have made it this year?
Well, I think the clear cut obvious one is where's number 58, Matt Milano. Yeah. Where is Matt Milano currently for Pro Bowl voting? And I don't know I don't have the Pro Bowl roster sheet up on my computer right now, but I can tell you there's probably 2 or 3 guys that are slotted into the Pro Bowl roster that don't deserve to be in there. And I know one of them is TJ Watt, and I know they kind of play different positions, but they do count TJ Watt as an outside linebacker. Yeah. So Milano, he's an outside linebacker, kind of with TJ Watt. TJ Watt's missed 7 games. If we're just talking about Two guys that played a full amount of games, and sure, yeah, Watt over Milano. No one's really going to be complaining about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some players overall that just made the Pro Bowl roster, and you just got to like think to yourself, scratch your head, and you're like, where's 58? Why is Milano not on there?
Yeah. That's the number one guy that immediately comes to mind. That got snubbed, in my opinion, when you look at it. And then let's take a look at this Pro Bowl roster here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm sharing my screen here. But here's the defense right now. All right. Well, let me scroll down to it. Where's it at? Here's the AFC, the defense. All right. So at outside linebacker, we've got Matt Judon from the Patriots, which right? Which is weird that they consider him an outside linebacker instead of like a defensive end, because I know he got it because of his sacks, but it seems to me that he should have been like on like a lineman. I don't know why they did it. The defensive ends, they put Myles Garrett, Matt Crosby, and Trey Hendrickson. That's just kind of weird the way they're doing it, because Matt Judon
It's weird. I mean, I think Trey Hendrickson like deserves it, but he's going to be out for the rest of the season. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. And then you get Khalil Mack, right? And again, this seems like name recognition to me. And then TJ Watt, right? So like, I get it. It just when you look at the numbers that Matt Milano's put up, there's no way you can say, because I think everybody would likely agree. And this is not just being a Bills homer, but even some national media people have been talking about Matt Milano having a remarkable season, like not just a Pro Bowl season, but almost an all-pro season type of season. And for him to get snubbed, from the Pro Bowl is it's kind of ridiculous, man. It really doesn't make any sense, man.
This is one thing I kind of get picky with the Pro Bowl. You see Matt Judon, Khalil Mack, TJ Watt. Yeah. Those aren't traditional outside linebackers. In a 3-4 defense, yes, technically they're an outside linebacker, but they're playing up on the line every single play.
Yeah.
They play the same position as Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa. Like there's nothing different. They're not playing the position Milano is. So I don't know. I would like them to probably expand the linebacker position maybe just a little bit. But you can also keep those spots for the defensive ends. I don't know. That's just me. I don't like how they consider Khalil Mack and TJ Watt kind of the same position as Matt Milano.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because are they running a 4-3 defense? I mean, or 3-4 defense? In the Pro Bowl. I mean,
they're just running a bunch of guys out there. Like when they do. I mean, they're not even playing it anymore. They're playing like games and stuff. They're playing flag football and basketball and whatever else.
Yeah, it's still ludicrous though, man. And then you look at the inside linebackers: Roquan Smith, C.J. Mosley. It makes sense, right? But not Khalil. Matt Milano not making it is a huge disgrace, huge snub. Anybody else, man, that pops up?
I mean, I had this on in my opinion too, but the whole comment section is kind of saying the same thing I'm about to say. Tyler Bass. Yeah. I would think that if another Bill were to make it, I would probably give it to Tyler Bass. He has been outstanding this season. I'm pretty sure, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's leading all kickers in points this season. And he's been a huge reason why the Bills are where they're at. We all know what happened last Saturday night. Without Tyler Bass, we may or may not win that game. We kicked the game-winning field goal in those snowy conditions for the win over the Miami Dolphins. And he's made some really tough kicks all season long in the bad weather we do have at home. And again, Tyler Bass, he has been outstanding all season long. And I'm pretty sure they did give it to Justin Tucker. And now Justin Tucker is right there with him. He is right there with him, for being one of the top kickers in the National Football League. Tucker, undoubtedly the greatest of all time at his position. But I feel like he may have got in just kind of due to his name this year. Not saying he's having a down year. There's no such thing as a down year for Mr. Justin Tucker. But nonetheless, I thought Bass was having an outstanding season and maybe just didn't get the respect he deserves by getting a Pro Bowl nod over Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I would agree. It's kind of bogus, right, when you think about it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's gonna be hard for a guy like Bass to really make it in over a guy like Justin Tucker, man, who's been doing it for so long. It's just gonna be difficult. But maybe if Tyler Bass continues, on this trajectory, he will finally make him one in the near future. So I'm not too sure, but we'll see. Anybody else like there's really nobody else that really stands out to me. I think the guys that should have got in. I mean, yeah, Tyler Bass, I agree with you on there. Across the O-line, I don't know, like Deion Dawkins, but he's an alternate though. He's an alternate, isn't it? Don't they have alternates?
I'm pretty sure he is, but
yeah,
I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't.
I love Deion, but he's had a little bit of a down year.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put him on there, like starting, but there's really nobody else that I can think of off the top of my head that.
I mean, Von Miller would have made it if he never got injured, so that would have been another player for the Bills to get in.
Yeah, he definitely would have, because he would have. He would have had double-digit sacks.
Yeah, he was leading the AFC voting for a long time before he did suffer the injury a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's another player that would have made it. Other than that, you're really not looking at special teams because Nyheim Hines only has really been with us for a few weeks. He wouldn't have got the return nod.
Right.
I don't see a world where a guy like Greg Rousseau makes it. You can make an argument for Tremaine Edmonds, but then you're really getting into the top 5 or 6 linebackers in the NFL. And I love Tremaine, but I wouldn't have put Tremaine over, guys like CJ Mosley, Fred Warner, and others. But nonetheless, there's a lot of Bills on this roster that don't need the Pro Bowl to kind of exemplify how good they are and how impactful they are. Because we all know it. Everyone watching the game on Sundays, Saturdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever the team plays, knows how good, some of the lower end players on the team are outside of the Allens, the Diggs, the Poyers and the Morses as well. So you don't need the Pro Bowl to, again, exemplify how good you are. Jordan Poyer is the number one example for that for how many years? Everyone knows around the league. Yeah. Everyone knows Jordan Poyer is a top safety in the National Football League, and he never got that respect until literally just the other day.
Yeah, which is crazy. So I mean, it's at the end of the day, as I mentioned, not too many fans, I would imagine, are care too much about Pro Bowls and who made it. I mean, of course, we get in our feelings and we get defensive, right? Because we're Bills fans and we've been crapped on for so long, and so we come to the defense of our players, right? Especially the guys that we think have earned it and are not getting the recognition that they deserve. But at the end of the day, I think what matters most for us, man, is been hoisting up that Lombardi Trophy. That's it. That's all I want right now is for the Bills to win a Super Bowl. And then shove it in the faces of all these people because I'm gonna be so petty, dude. When we win it, you might as well just get ready for it, dude. I can't wait. So I think that's on the forefront of most Bills fans' minds right now is getting to the Super Bowl and winning that doggone thing and bringing it where it belongs, back to the 716, man, Buffalo. So anyway, but still, shout out to those who made it, man, and even the alternates, man. I think somebody came in here and said, that Matt Milano may have made it on the second team alternate. I don't have the alternate roster pulled up, and so I don't know, man. Maybe you can go through that if you want to, and we may kind of touch on it here a little bit later. But nevertheless, man, I thought it was interesting to go through it because I know there was a lot of you guys out there were looking at 58 got snubbed. Matt Milano got snubbed. I know
he got snubbed.
He got snubbed, man. He got snubbed. Yeah, but hey, what are you gonna do about it, right? There's really nothing you can do. Just keep on playing, keep on winning. And like you had mentioned, Jordan Poyer did it for how long? He finally got it. So Matt Milano's day is coming. It definitely is coming. All right, Ev, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna bring you back on here shortly.
All right, we'll do. Thanks.
All right. So those are your 2022, 2023 Buffalo Bills Pro Bowlers and the Pro Bowl snubs, who I think we all can agree, Matt Milano, Tyler Bass, right? Though Tyler Bass probably had a harder hill to climb just because Justin Tucker was in front of him. But Matt Milano, there's no way that guy should not have made it. Absolutely no way. But anyway, it is what it is. We're still going to win it all. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. All right. First of all, man, shout out to everybody, man, who's watching me right now. Everybody's watching live. Shout out to you all. Do me this favor, please. Smash that like and hit the subscribe button if you don't mind, and if you have not already done so. We are going to move along here a little bit, but first of all, man, I want to take some time right now to mention a new sponsor to the Buffalo Fanatics, and that is none other than Tailgate Mafia. Tailgate Mafia. Look, everybody knows that Buffalo has the absolute greatest fans of all time. No cap. And it's about doggone time that somebody gave us a trophy for it. And so the tailgate touchdown figurine, which you see here on your screen right now, celebrates Buffalo's world-famous game day tradition of breaking tables, featuring Buffalo's unofficial mascot, Shout, the broken table. All right. Now, this trophy is a perfect gift, and you guys better hurry up and get it right now before Christmas. It's a perfect gift for any true Bills fan. So get your tailgate touchdown today at tailgate-mafia.com. In addition to that, make sure you download Football's only app dedicated to tailgating and type Buffalo Table Slam in the App Store and start breaking tables in augmented reality right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 40 minutes into the show, and we are still moving. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it popping. We've got a game Christmas Eve. In case you didn't know, the Bills have been playing, man, all kinds of days this year. But we are playing against the Chicago Bears. And it is, before we can get into that conversation, let's take a look at the current injury report right now. So let me go ahead and pull that up. You guys see it currently right now on your screen. And obviously they've already got the game status out right now because the Bills are playing a day ahead, right? And the Bills are already, matter of fact, I think they may have left already tonight because word on the street was that they were leaving early, leaving tonight, in fact, to Chicago because of the storm, which we may talk about here shortly as well. So they're trying to get ahead of that. But as the injury report, in regards to the injury report is what I'm trying to say. Let's take a look at the game day status. So far, we already have Boogie Basham, defensive end, is out for the game. And we have center Mitch Morse out for the game. We've got Jordan Phillips, who's questionable, in addition to Ed Oliver. So hopefully we can get Jordan Phillips back, right? He's been out for, I think, a couple of games here dealing with a shoulder injury. So I'm looking forward to his possible return to game status this Saturday. But it's not really much of a push, right? It's not like we absolutely need him. But, hey, we can't get all hands on deck if we're trying to still secure that number one seed in the AFC, period. But so we got Boogie Basham and Mitch Morse out. Those two gentlemen are out for the game right now. We see a list of those who do not participate but are not currently don't have a game day status for this game here Saturday. We've got Stephon Diggs did not participate, which you already know. Likely it's a veteran rest day, right? Tywan Jones didn't participate today in practice. Obviously, Mitch Morse and Ed Oliver didn't participate. There was some status here talking about Josh Allen because he popped up on the injury report earlier this week. Tuesday, matter of fact, he was a limited participant with the right elbow injury, and so I think a lot of people got nervous and wanted to know what was up with Josh Allen's elbow. Is he going to be okay? Is it bothering him? Is he going to have to miss some time? Well, he practiced fully Wednesday and Thursday, so he's going to be playing, no doubt, Saturday. But I guess it is still kind of worth monitoring because he did pop up on the injury report, so it could be bothering him to a degree. I don't know how much. Obviously, not much, for him to still be practicing. So we could be all right with that. But that's really all the injury news that we have. But the key guy, in my opinion, that's out is Mitch Morse, right? I mean, we got to deal with Mitch Morse. He's dealing with a concussion, and this is his. How many concussions does Mitch Morse already have right now in his career? Is this 6? Right? I think this is his sixth concussion that he's dealing with. And so that's definitely really, you don't really want to just overlook that, right? I mean, you definitely want to be careful, right? Because at any point, man, I mean, you're talking about a guy's livelihood and you're talking about his career, right? It's more than just him missing a game or 2 or 3. When Mitch Morse, I mean, when a guy like this has had this many concussions in his career, it's definitely noteworthy, and it's definitely reason for concern. We want to be as cautious with him as possible. Now, granted, I mean, he's a tough guy, and I'm sure he'd probably say, hey, I'm good to go, coach. Let me play. But man, when you got 6, this is your 6th one, you definitely want to take it slowly, which is what the Bills are doing, and which is why he's currently out for the game Saturday. But my question though is because when you look at Mitch Morse, I mean, the guy, has been, like I mentioned, a stalwart for this Buffalo Bills team and the offensive line. He's been Mr. Consistent. This guy has been phenomenal for the development and growth of Josh Allen. And just the entire offensive line, right? We feel it. We feel him when he's not in the game. We felt him last week, right? When he had to leave and exit because of the concussion that he sustained against the Dolphins. But going in now into this game, and the guy just made the Pro Bowl, so he's going to be out this game against the Chicago Bears. My question to you all right now is how will Morse's absence affect the O-line? How do you guys think that his absence is going to affect the O-line? Especially, I mean, we don't know how long he's going to be out, so let's just assume that it's just this game, right? Going up against the Chicago Bears, this team, and a Bills team who's really trying to make sure that they solidify that number one seed. They don't want to win. They don't want to lose any more games, right? How will his absence affect the O-line? And I'm going to bring, Evan, I want to bring you back on here for that, man, because I want to get your opinion on it as well. So you come on in here, man, whenever you're ready. But when you look at the O-line, right? You look at the O-line, and you've got there's some guys across the O-line who and I'm sure they would probably agree, but there's a couple of guys on the O-line that have not been having the best year, right? Namely Spencer Brown on the right side, right? And so when you have a guy like Spencer Brown struggling in pass protection this year, and Josh already has to really overcompensate for his struggles, and we've seen it earlier. I mean, up throughout the entire year, really, with the way they've been utilizing Dawson Knox in line to block more and stuff like that. And then when Bates went out, you had to, bring in, Van Rotten and stuff like that. And then so now you're going to have your center out for an entire game. And so it's going to be kind of difficult for the O-line, right? I mean, granted, yeah, we've got Josh Allen, the Winter Soldier, and he makes up for a lot of issues. But Evan, man, when you look at Mitch Morse's his absence this game, man, how do you think that it is going to affect the O-line in general as the Bills face the Bears?
Yeah, so I'm going to say this is flat out. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane always preach versatility, and this is where versatility is going to come into play. You only see it so much throughout the season, just because injuries only happen so often. But with the Bills, injuries are occurring a lot this season, and now Morse is out. This is where versatility will kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Bates, more likely than not, if he is good to go, which he was full participation in practice today.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to slide over to the center position. And then you're like, okay, what are you going to do at right guard? Because Ryan Bates is your starting right guard. You're more likely than not going to slide in Ike Butker or Greg Van Roten. More likely than not, you would like to see Ike Butker there, sliding into right guard right there. Texas Flood does mention that. But that's where the versatility is going to come to play in. Ryan Bates right now is your best backup center. And he is also the starting right guard on this team. So you are going to have to slide Bates into that center position, but you're also going to have to take a hit by moving Bates from right guard to center. But you're going to have to, take that hit by trusting your versatility and putting either Ike Butker or Greg Van Roten in at the right guard spot. My prediction personally, I think it should be Butker, just because I think he is the best suited to fill that position. But at the end of the day, versatility is going to have to be a play, and we're going to see it this Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, are you confident in them starting Butker over Van Roten, considering, I mean, he's been out, all this time due to his Achilles injury. And then, so now this would be like his first game back. And you think that do you think, knowing Sean McDermott, do you think you feel comfortable putting him in the game like this over a guy like Van Roten, who's been playing this year?
I mean, maybe at a point in time you would like to trust Butker. You have to play him at some point in time if you do want to. So I think maybe they will do that. And if they don't, that's where you're going to throw the Van Roten in, just because if you are scared of, playing Butker a little bit earlier. But, I mean, that's just where it's going to be. I mean, I trust Butker through and through. But, again, I'm not on the coaching staff. I'm not in that room every single day. I don't know where Ike's at, physically and mentally to get back into the game. Personally, I would think he's probably solid enough to go back in right now, but that's just me. Again, I'm not in the room. I'm not on the training staff. I only know so much, but if he's activated and he's good to go, and McDermott and company trust him enough to slide him into that right guard spot.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning it. All I'm sitting is watching back and Josh throw some darts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love Butker, man. I think, I mean, if you're comparing like talent, right? Of course, I mean, Booker is a better player than Van Rotten, in my opinion. I'm just curious to see what McDermott is going to do. I wonder if he's going to, have a rotation. For this year, for some reason, man, he's been loving this rotation crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wonder if he maybe he lets Van Rotten start, and then he says, well, let me see what I have in Butker.
Yeah.
For like a series or two. I don't know, man. I'm just weird. This is weird.
The only reason I wouldn't say he would have a rotation per se is because the offensive line has to flow as 5. They can't flow as 4 and 1 be out of sync. All 5 of those guys have to flow in with one another.
Mhm.
And you already have a backup center in there with Mitch Morse. You don't want to make his life a lot harder by, switching in guards, every other series or every 2 series. So just for communicational purposes and chemistry and trying to build some sort of continuity throughout the game, I think that he's just going to stick with one, whether that's the strong, steady veteran in Van Rotten or, the player that's coming off an injury and trying to find himself again in like Butker. I don't know what player they're going to stick. Personally, again, my prediction, I think they should go Butker just because I think he's the better player. I think he can move a little bit better across the line, whether that's, pulling the pin and pull game, which the Bills like to do, and stuff like that. I think he's a little bit better of the pass protector overall. But I don't think they're going to rotate. I mean, if one's playing really bad, you can see a, someone get pulled, but he's kind of doing more of that in the back end and the secondary where it's a little more easier to do, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, I don't think they're going to have a rotation per se on the line.
Has Butker, has he played right guard before?
That is something personally I don't know off the top of my head. I presume he has played some sort of guard in the National Football League, which he has.
With the Bills. I'm trying to remember because I always thought that he played left guard with. I could be wrong because I thought that before Bates was playing, I thought Butker was playing left guard, and then we had who do we have at right guard? Darrell Williams last year or the year before. I think across the line. Before Butker got injured, and then they inserted Bates into the lineup. Then he played. I could have sworn that Butker played left guard. I don't remember him playing a right guard at all. Yeah, Texas Flood comes in. He says, he played left, and so and so I just and that's the reason why I asked that question is because that could be another factor into whether or not McDermott will trust him coming back off the injury over Van Rotten, who's been playing right guard. Just because if Butker hasn't played right guard for the Bills before, which again I'm not too sure that he has or has not, but if he has not, then I think that may give McDermott reason for pause. But anyway, I mean I don't know how much of a real big difference it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right guard,
I mean,
guard offense.
When you do go to the Bills depth chart on ESPN, it does have Butker listed behind Roger Saffold at left guard. But it's just one of those things. I mean, we've seen Greg Van Rotten get slotted in at right guard throughout the season. But it's just one of those things. I mean, if they don't trust that Butker can play at right guard, then they're gonna stick that veteran in Greg Van Rotten, and you're gonna have Van Rotten in there for the entire game on the right side.
Yeah, you know what? Another reason why, and this is something else that just came to my mind when I'm thinking about Morse's absence, because I think his absence really has more of an effect, not just this game coming up or however many games he may be out, but really has more of a long-term effect for the Bills. And what I mean by that is I think it's time for Brandon Beane and company to really start to look in the draft and bring in some high-quality offensive linemen as insurance policies, especially at the center position for Mitch Morse, because you just never know, right? If the guy is going to sustain another concussion. I mean, you have to make sure you get your bases covered there. And I know we can move Ryan Bates, and we got Van Rotten in the pinch who can play center. But I mean, when you talk about sustaining this success and making sure that Josh Allen is covered and protected, enough with the whole like, oh, I've got a guy I can move here and there.
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to really invest in somebody who can be slotted in that position to be the center of the future. I'm not saying that Mitch Morse is going to be done, his career is over with, the next year or so, whatever. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is I think it's time, man, for them to really look at that center position in the draft. And not just the center position, but even just across the O-line, especially the interior, because, man, I don't know about you, Evan, but I came into this season thinking that our O-line, especially the depth, was better than it really has been this year. I thought Roger Saffold was going to come in and dominate this year. He's been kind of having a kind of season, right?
Average,
very average, right? Very average season. Spencer Brown has looked bad this year, right? He's looked bad, especially in pass protection. This is what, year 3 for Spencer, or is this year 2? This is year 2 for Spencer. So you got next year, he'll be entering year 3, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of growth and development. Granted, I mean, to his defense, I mean, this is his second O-line coach in in the same amount of years that he's been in the league. So maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm just not comfortable, right? And then when Brown was out, and then when Deion Dawkins was out, and we had to play Quessenberry at left tackle, oh my gosh, that was terrible against the Patriots. So I'm thinking like, Brandon Beane needs to do something in this offensive line, starting at the center position, as soon as possible in the draft.
Yeah, when you just look at how Brandon Beane has kind of addressed this offensive line throughout the years, how much draft capital has he really put in the offensive line, ever since, drafting since 2018?
Yeah,
he didn't draft Deion Dawkins. He didn't draft Deion Dawkins, which was a second-round pick. That was Sean McDermott. Beane wasn't here for the 2017 draft. He really, the only high-end draft capital, I would say, which was, second and third-round picks, he put into Cody Ford and Spencer Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, we've seen a couple, mid to late round picks spent on offensive linemen, but those haven't really turned out to anything. And you would probably like to see Brandon Beane and the Bills start to throw a first or more second round picks on offensive linemen in this next coming draft and later drafts as well, just because when you're rolling a bunch of guys that are just average to below average out there every single week, they're going to hold up for most of the time. But there's going to be weeks that a very strong defensive line just absolutely dominates them. And when you look at a team, and I do not like to compare to this team, the Chiefs.
Oh, I already know where you're going. Yeah, I agree.
Went away with their offensive line. They lost some pieces. They lost, Eric Fisher and others. What did they do in one draft? They went and signed Joe Thuney. And drafted Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey.
Yeah.
And also signed Orlando Brown Jr. 4 guys in one offseason. They got just, and that offensive line went from in shambles because of retired players they cut,
players that
this, that, and the third. What else happened? No, Andy Reid and the Chiefs son, hey, we got to bolster up this offensive line. We're not going to play around. We're going to get 4 guys that we are going to stick inside this lineup and not even blink about who's, going on the field to protect Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. That's the way to do it, man. Creed Humphrey, that draft, the way
best center in the National Football League.
The way they did that, man, that was huge because it starts up front, man. And Sean McDermott has always talked about, it starts in the trenches, right? And then here you have a guy like Andy Reid and the Chiefs with Pat Mahomes, and you could easily say, well, Pat Mahomes, he makes up for it, so we don't really need to invest a lot in the offensive line because we got a guy like Pat Mahomes, which
is kind of true, but still.
But still, right? I mean, you don't want to have to rely on that. Like, you want to make sure the guy is covered and protected, because having an offensive line like that's dominant can only make the team that much better. And I think Brandon Beane has really been kind of on the side of like, well, we've got Josh Allen, and let's just kind of patch things together here and there, and just bring in this little vet here and there, and we'll be okay. And let's invest a little mid to third round draft pick in a guy like Spencer Brown, and he's very athletic, high ceiling, but we don't know. Cody Ford, that was terrible in my opinion anyway, and we see the fruits of that pick anyway. But I think that, since you've been saying that, hey, he hasn't really invested high capital in the O-line, I think it's time for him to do it. I mean, when we talked about how long have we talked about the cornerback 2 position, right? For years, right? But
years.
He has not invested high capital in the cornerback 2 position, opposite of Trey White, since he drafted Trey White in the first round. And he finally did it. Finally did it this year. And to no credit, right? There's Sean McDermott not even playing him, for the whole year, which is weird in and of itself. But nevertheless, he finally addressed that position in the first round. I think it's time. And I'm not saying they just need to go ahead and reach for a guy just for the sake of getting him. But I think if there's a guy in round 1, wherever that is, and this coming up draft, if there's an offensive lineman, whether it's center or interior lineman, whatever the case may be, that sit in there that you have graded as first round draft pick, you freaking do not hesitate and draft that guy. I don't care. I think it's time for us to really protect Josh and solidify this O-line for years to come, and not just be content with let's just bring in this low price free agent on a 1 or 2 year deal and bring him here and let's just do some patchwork O-line work. No, forget that. Let's go ahead and secure it. I think it's important, man. My man James comes in with a super chat. James, I appreciate it, baby. He says, "Yo, Rev, are you and Evan going to be pissed like me if Elam is not starting over Jane Jackson this week?" You know what, Evan, you want to take that first, man? Because I've talked about this ad nauseum, but I'm going to get fired up again.
Yeah, so I mean, just right off the bat, I'll compare a couple of statistics between Elam and Dane Jackson this season. Now, Dane Jackson has played much more than Kyrie Elam, but their statistics across the board are pretty similar. So why not play the first round pick over a guy that you drafted in the 7th round out of Pitt? So in 37 targets this year, Dane Jackson has given up 27 receptions for a catch percentage of 73%. That's for 278 yards, 99 yards after the catch for 1 touchdown. And he's taken 2 penalties. Mm-hmm. He has 6 mixed tackles, which is missing 14% of his tackles on the season. He's got 2 interceptions and 1 pass defended. So, those are rookie stats, I would say, for a rookie corner. But now let's go to the quote unquote, I don't want to call him prize veteran, but the kind of proven veteran that they treat him like a proven veteran in the back end. Dane Jackson on the season, 72 targets. He's allowed 44 receptions for completion percentage against him of 61% for 528 yards on the season with a yak of 101 yards, 3 touchdowns allowed, 5 penalties taken, 11 missed tackles. That's 17%, and 2 interceptions with 9 PBUs. So yes, to an extent, Dane Jackson is having a slightly better season with, more ground to cover, with more, snaps played and this, that, and the third. But if you're getting close to similar production between a first round rookie and a veteran 7th round pick, why not just turn the table to the first round pick and at least let him go out there and fight through the growing pains and just battle through it? Because I mean, I get it. I get what Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier are trying to do with this split cornerback system. I kind of get it, but at the end of the day, you have to let one cornerback get into a rhythm. And if you're playing half by half, at least try to just throw Elam into the fire and let him get comfortable. And then if you also look at the coverage snaps too, Elam, 419 snaps. Now that's 274 coverage snaps overall. Mm-hmm. And then Dane Jackson, 754 snaps compared to his 591 coverage snaps compared to the 274 that Kyrie Elam has. But again, Jackson, the veteran, he's going to probably make a couple better plays here and there than Kyrie Elam. But do we really know if Kyrie Elam can't make those same plays that Jackson is, if he's not getting the playing time?
Right.
You got to trust this rookie at some point in time. But I think it's a little too late now going into the playoffs very soon in the next few weeks. Mm-hmm. I don't think you just want to throw a rookie into the fire like that. Whether that's just, again, splitting the time like you're doing, or you got to commit to either Jackson or Elam before the playoffs come around. But I think it might be too late to just commit to Elam with 3 weeks remaining in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean that is all on coaching, man. That's 100% Sean McDermott's fault. If this guy's not ready, it's your fault, Sean, because there's no reason why you shouldn't. And that's not much of a difference, right? I mean, you got a veteran guy, and Dane Jackson, who's by all accounts probably reached his ceiling already, right? And then you've got a rookie, and you look at these numbers, and you're like, dude, start the rookie the whole year. Start the rookie the whole year. Take your lumps early in the season. Let the guy get in a groove and learn. There's no other way he's going to learn. He's not going to learn sitting on the bench, watching guys, being in your doghouse, whatever kind of mess you got going on right now. There's no reason why your first-round draft pick cornerback, Kaiir Elam, should be sitting on the sideline, being a healthy scratch, completely inactive one game, followed up by being active the next game, but not playing a whole snap. Maybe you even play like one snap. Ridiculous. Makes no sense whatsoever. Kaiir Elam should have been playing, and by now he probably would have been more developed than he is right now, and even that much more ready going into the playoffs. You have to play these guys. I don't know what Sean McDermott has against young guys, against rookies, but he needs to get over it. Maybe it's just his old school mentality, like, oh, you got to, the rookies are nothing to me. Forget it. If the guy has a bigger ceiling, and the margin of performance is very slim, play your rookie. And you invested that kind of capital in him in the first place. Put him on the field and play him.
And something that just like aggravates me is when you look around the National Football League, there are tons of star-studded rookie corners this year, and two I'm just gonna talk about.
Oh yeah,
one, Sauce Gardner in New York, and I know he was a top 5 pick. He is kind of a different player to talk about, but there's a late to mid round pick in Seattle, and Tariq Woolen.
Yes,
that is just having like just as good as a year as Sauce Gardner, if not better. I mean, these are 2 rookie corners that are playing sensational. Now they have earned the playing time that they are getting, but they're also playing in that playing time. So like they're comfortable, they're getting the reps, and they are balling out respectively. And there's a ton of other rookie corners around the National Football League too. Just look at some of these teams in the National Football League, look at their roster, look at who their starting corners are, and just pick them out. You're looking like that's a rookie. You're like, okay, that guy's a veteran. But then you look on the opposite side, that guy's a rookie. That's a guy who, has 7 or 8 PBUs, 1 or 2 interceptions, not that many yards allowed against. And they're putting up good numbers for a rookie. But the Bills simply haven't, turned to Kaiir Elam. And it's just I don't know what the word is for it, but it's just kind of aggravating, I guess you could say.
Very aggravating.
That this first round pick in Elam isn't playing. And right here, Roger McCreary, he's having an outstanding season as well. Like, just again, another first round pick, Kansas City. Like, it's just, again, what are you going to do there? I mean, that's just another, like, I'm pretty sure he was drafted right behind or right in front of Kaiir Elam. So a guy kind of in the same draft spot as Elam is having a very good start to his NFL career.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I'm looking up Roger McCreary now. I want to see where he's drafted. But
I'm pretty sure it was 22nd or 24th, somewhere in that spot.
Yeah. It just doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, still, like, no, he was okay. Roger McCreary is playing for the Titans. He was drafted. He was a round 2 pick.
Oh, geez, I'm thinking of Trent McDuffie. Sorry.
Yeah. Roger McCreary. Yeah, second round pick, man.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie. My bad.
Yeah. So like this, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You can't tell me, well, he's just not ready. Man, bump that. He's not ready because you're not making him ready. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way you should be having Dane Jackson as much as he's been getting burnt. I mean, absolutely torched. Since Cleveland, he has been a huge liability. And if not been for Jordan Poyer coming back in, he would look even worse. But the guy has been playing so badly. I don't understand how he's still earned his job over a guy like Kaiir Elam. It doesn't make any sense to me, man. I don't get it. I don't understand his thinking, Sean McDermott's thinking. And like you had mentioned earlier, like it's almost too late, right, to throw Kaiir Elam in now. I mean, because we're so close to the playoffs. Now at the end of the day, if Kaiir Elam makes his football team better, then play him regardless. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that experience factor, though. Now you got this. You got to worry about him. Well, how's he gonna? What's his mental gonna be like? You know, in the playoffs when the lights are on and it's go time and it's win or done. You know what I'm saying? Or are you gone? How is Kyrie Elam gonna perform? You know, but you had all season to get this guy ready in the regular season, and you've yet to do that. Makes no sense to me, man. Especially when you have Trey White out. It's ridiculous, man. Like Donnie Foster comes in, he says, "Yo, Dane sucks." He sucks. Like he's dude. Like
Straight
Dane
to the
is
point. Straight
yeah,
to the
man. I
point.
mean, I'm feeling like to me, man. Like Dane is just dude. He's in my doghouse, man. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't care less to see him.
I mean, this is my thing with Dane Jackson. I mean, this is a guy last year that had a lot of potential. I would say he filled in very nicely throughout the midpoint to the end of the season and throughout playoffs for the injured Tre'Davious White. And we had these expectations of Dane Jackson coming in to take another step, but he hasn't really taken that step forward. He's kind of taken 2 steps backwards down the stairs, and he just really hasn't been able to find the play that he was playing at last year. It's just gotten worse.
Yeah.
And he was playing very solid last year.
Mhm.
So you would have liked to see an improvement. And again, improvement hasn't come. It's just went backwards.
And maybe the reason why he's fallen back is because he's had to shoulder the load of being the number 1 corner, you know, when Trey was out, you know, all this time. And so now he's like having to take on that responsibility, and he's just not that guy. You know, he's a good, you know, maybe second option, you know, depth option. But when you have a guy that you invest a first round draft pick in, you can't tell me that that you prefer your 6th round pick, you know, who's average over the guy that you invested so highly in Kyrie Elam. And I could understand if Kyrie Elam has just been complete buns, you know, in training camp and in practice, and he just looked awful. But he hasn't, even in the regular season, he hasn't looked bad, you know. And so
he's had his moments.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's had his moments, right? I mean, but rookie growing pains, you expect that out of a rookie, right? But if he was starting from the jump, from the jump, you know, as soon as we started the season off in LA, all the way through, and you just let him work it out, you can't tell me he wouldn't have been better by now. I just believe it. You know,
Never know.
Yeah, I mean, but what can you do, man? It is what it is. Sweat says, "Yo, Dane hasn't played the same since the neck injury." I mean, that's possible, man. I mean, you know, it's just a weird thing right now, and it's just very frustrating. Very frustrating. I mean, Evan, read that for me. What's Juan saying?
All right, he goes, Rev and Evan, what do you think about this stat? A first-time play caller / OC has never won the Super Bowl.
Why'd you got to bring that up, Juan? Why, dude? Because I'm already kind of superstitious, man.
That's going to change this year. All right,
there we go. We breaking records, baby. We break.
Probably not saying that's not a good record to look at or a meaningless stat record, but that is going to be one that we're going to break no matter what. And I want to see that on ESPN, because, you know, ESPN just posts the most like random stats that make no sense or have no correlation to anything. That's going to be the one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because I'm not going to lie, like that's been in the back of my head. Especially, you know, seeing Ken Dorsey's struggles here lately. I'm like, oh man, I hope when we get in the playoffs, I hope, man, this does not nip us in the butt. You know, like this inexperienced coach doesn't nip us in the butt, you know, in the playoffs when we need it the most. But I think that the team is built right, and I think we're far away from having coaches screw it up for us like we did last year. At least this fingers crossed, you know, that does not happen again this year. Evan, we've got a game Saturday, right, against the Chicago Bears, and I want to jump in here. We've been in an hour and 14 into the show so far. Shout out to everybody, man, who's watching. Smash that like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on those bell notifications. So we've got a game against the Chicago Bears, and what I want to know from you, as we make this shift before we close out the show, is what concerns you, or are there any concerns that you have for the Bills going into this game against Chicago?
I mean, the number one concern on this 3-11 Chicago Bears team that we are going to have to face is going up against number one, the quarterback for the Bears, Justin Fields. I mean, if there is one player on this Bears team, offense and defense, that makes me sit on the edge of my seat when I'm watching the game, it's Justin Fields. It's plain and simple. This guy is an electric quarterback. He is just sensationally been the only bright spot for the Chicago Bears offensively this season. He is the third quarterback in NFL history to eclipse the 1,000-yard rushing mark, and he's doing it kind of effortlessly. Every week you see this guy, Justin Fields, just make a play that just has your jaw drop.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it every week, it seems. And I know the Bills have been really solid against quarterbacks that can run throughout Sean McDermott's tenure here. But it is going to be hard to stop Justin Fields and this Bears rushing attack. Not only are they the number one rushing attack overall in the National Football League, they are number one and basically top three in a lot of overall rushing statistics as well. So they come heavy with running the football, and they also just activated running back Khalil Herbert off IR, and we all know Khalil Herbert is the backup to David Montgomery, and David Montgomery is a heck of a running back too. But also, just to mention that some people are like, oh, will the running game, be kind of limited with right guard Tevin Jenkins and left guard Cody Whitehair more likely than not going to be out for the Bears because they are doubtful coming in this game. Potentially, but Fields, again, he is electric, and he is one player that concerns me, going in against the Bears.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, their running game is no joke. It's definitely no joke. And I've been kind of keeping my eye out on this matchup. I've been saying like, okay, it's almost like the Bills have gotten through this gauntlet, right? This AFC East gauntlet where they needed to get back on top of things, and they've closed it out, right? Undefeated. They've won, and so now they've got they're number one in the AFC East, number one. I mean, got the number one seed so far, which is good. All that is great, and I just wonder, and I hope that this team has not taken a breath, right? Just like exhaled and be like, whew, like we've gotten through that. All right, now we can coast. We're okay. Because you've got a team in the Chicago Bears very hungry. Forget records aside, I think that's what this year should teach everybody, man, is forget records, right? Like we saw it Thanksgiving against the Lions. Like that team, man, probably one of the toughest teams we played all year long. That team has been great this entire year. And so we can't sleep on any team, and I don't think that anybody's really sleeping on them, but I'm just want to make sure that we don't take this team lightly. We saw the way the Chicago Bears played last week against the Eagles, who are, who are like one of the best teams right now in the National Football League. They played them to the wire. Very close game. And so you look at Justin Fields, like you mentioned, the guy's running ability is out the wazoo, man. And then couple that with the running game with, Khalil Herbert coming back, and then, I mean, just their running game is phenomenal. And I'm looking at the Bills, I'm like, golly, man, this is something that we just don't want to deal with, right? I mean, and when you look at the stats, right, the Bills are, I think looking at it here, TeamRankings.com has Bills showing them that they're sixth in the NFL in opponent rushing yards per game. Right, they give up 106.1 rushing yards per game, but anything could happen, man. And the way this team has been the defense has been tackling lately, right? They've been having some poor tackling performances here lately. You don't want to do that, man. You don't want to have these guys missing tackles in a game like this. Go ahead, Ed.
And that's the one thing. Also, the Bills also haven't played a team like the Chicago Bears this year. And you look at their record, 3-11. Yes, it isn't the prettiest record.
Yeah.
But this is a young team with a second-year quarterback and a second-year quarterback that, again, is just sensational in the run game. And this is where my point's going to be brought. When Justin Fields runs the football, it's kind of in the middle. He kind of meets himself in the middle with his running style like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. He's not super close to Lamar Jackson with how slippery and agile he is. He's more in the middle. He's a little closer to Josh Allen. He meets in the middle because not only can Justin Fields, slip away from defenders and just get around you with his speed, but he's not afraid to kind of lay the shoulder and run through you like Josh Allen would. So, Justin Fields can do that. He can, lay the boom per se, or try to run through you, try to truck you. But he can also make you
Right.
miss too. And again, the Bills haven't been tackling that well the last few weeks, and he's a player that you're gonna have to wrap up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, because like again, this has all the markings of that classic, quote unquote trap game, right? Like the Bills have come out of the East, and they're kind of taking a breath. They've exhaled, right? And they're going against a team that's 3-11, and they're kind of like, take it easy, right? Maybe guys are banged up, and they're like, let's just not play him right now. Let's just coast right now. We'll be okay. NFC opponent, we'll be all right. And they go in this game, and they get smacked, right? Yeah, like this is the type of game that could happen, right? And so I don't want this team to overlook it. I mean, Justin Fields is I mean, he's no small guy, man, 6'3", about 230. I mean, so he's got some size. I mean, you mentioned the guy and the way he runs. The Bills have to come ready, right? They have to play very sound defensive football, right? And which I want to talk to you now about like what are some keys? Like what does the Bills defense have to do in order to shut down Justin Fields in this Bears rushing attack?
Well, I mean, right now we know this weather is going to be very bad, this Saturday versus the Chicago Bears, and it's supposed to feel like -11, and there's going to be some wind gusts up to like 50 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to be throwing the football a lot. They're not going to be
Mhm.
throwing the football a lot at all. So defensively, if you're facing the Chicago Bears, you have, I would say, a slight advantage, because not only are the Bears already a team that runs more than 50% of their plays, they're going to have to do that a little more, I'd say, with the weather, and they're going to have to do that without their starting guards, Cody Whitehair
Mhm.
and Tevin Jenkins. So they
Yeah.
already have two of their guards that are potentially going to be out, both doubtful, on today's injury report. They're going to be with, out those two guards, and they're going to have to run the football a lot. The Bills' defensive line is going to have to win in the trenches. And you always see it all the time. The game is won in the trenches.
Mhm.
And I don't think the Bills' offensive line is going to have to win the game in the trenches this week. I think it's more say that the Bills' defensive line is going to have to win in the trenches this week. And again, we don't have Boogie Basham. He's been ruled out. We don't have Von Miller. But you know who we do have, potentially? Ed Oliver, if he's healthy throughout the week. He was, I'm pretty sure he did not participate today, or he was doubtful. You got Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, Daquan Jones, who's really good at stopping the run. Jordan Phillips, if he plays. Shaq Lawson, who's really good against the run. AJ Epinesa. So the Bills' defensive line and linebackers as well, with Milano and Edmonds and Taron Johnson. Maybe we go, big nickel and stick Bernard or AJ Klein in there as well, just to try to defend the run. Our front seven and our defensive line are going to have to step up big. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Ed Oliver, he was limited Wednesday, and then got downgraded to he did not participate today, and so which is why he's got a questionable designation for the game. Jordan Phillips was limited all week, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I mean, we're already short, right, on the defensive line, with D ends namely, right, with Von Miller being out. So now you got Boogie Basham out. So now that we just have what is that, 3 defensive ends, when they run a full rotation, four deep at least. I mean, you got Groot, AJ Epinesa, and now Shaq Lawson. So like somebody's going to be on the field a heck of a long time, a lot. And so that rotation is probably going to be thin, and these guys, especially in this weather, are going to have to. They're just going to have to make sure that they come ready for it, because this ground game is coming right at the Bills' defensive line. I don't think anybody in the National Football League right now is afraid of the Bills' defensive line, especially the way they've tackled. I think they feel like they can probably run through the Bills, and they're going to prove it. I mean, they're going to really come out there and try to prove it on top of the weather, right? I mean, you're dealing with the weather. And so we know that Josh Allen is weatherproof, right? But dang, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to when you have those kind of winds, not necessarily just the temperature, but just the winds that I think reports are out, like with potential gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. Like that's crazy. That's almost like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember the exact numbers, but the Bills Patriots game last year, the first one, right? Crazy wind game.
And it could be something like that. And, last week, the Bills kind of invited the Dolphins to run the football on them. It's not going to be like that this week. It's not going to be like that this week
not.
at all. The Bills are going to potentially have to invite the Bears to pass on them. They're going to have to play the run on pretty much every single play because, once again, the Bears run the ball traditionally on more than 50% of their plays. And that's probably in a 90-degree normal perfect setting game in Tampa. They're going to run the football over 50% of the times. I can't imagine what that number is going to be with the weather that is supposed to be displayed this Saturday in Chicago. So again, Bills got to be ready. Front seven's going to have to be on their toes every single play, and they're just going to have to tackle well. And you cannot let one of these big runs break off, because remember what big run broke off last year in the win bowl that we played against the Patriots. Damian Harris had that big 60+ yarder to overtake the game. And in a sense, we kind of lost because that touchdown really opened up the game for the Patriots. So can't allow those big plays to happen, and got to tackle well.
You have to tackle well. And what's been the key to try to keeping these games close? It's you try to keep Josh Allen off the field, keep him in an offense off the field, and win the time of possession battle. You do that by being able to run the ball, right? If you can run the ball on this defense, and have long sustaining drives that either end in touchdowns or field goal, but you eat up a lot of clock, that keeps the margin narrow. Like that keeps the game close throughout the rest of the game by keeping the Bills offense off of the field. And so that the Bears are going to come in here and try to run the ball. You already know it, so get prepared for it. What I think the Bills defense needs to do, which I doubt this happens, because we know how boneheaded and just set in his ways Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott are, and I agree with Nnamdi here. Man, the Bills are going to have to play 3 linebackers in this game and tackle better. I'm glad Nnamdi brought this up, because this is exactly what I've been thinking. Like, come out of this nickel. Come out of it. Like, it's one thing for you to try to invite the run, against certain teams, but you don't want to do that, like you had mentioned, Evan, against this team right now, because they will freaking run down your throat. They will run it down your throat. And I know we love us some Teron Johnson, et cetera, but at the end of the day, man, are you trying to win the game, or are you trying to just, play the guy because you love him? Man, freaking win the game. If that means you go traditional 4-3 set and you bring AJ Klein in the game to stop the run, I'm not afraid of anybody on this Bears offense at the wide receiver position. Nobody on that team concerns me. They already have Chase Claypool, who's out for the game. Right, he's already out. And so, like, who else?
Darnell Mooney, their number one's out as well.
Yeah, and Equiminius St. Brown is out for the game. So they literally have
top 3
nobody.
guys.
Yeah, they have nobody to throw the ball to. N'Keal Harry. Maybe.
I mean, Rev, they might ask you to suit up this Saturday. They might call you up.
They may.
I mean, they might call you up.
And I'll let the Bills man get picks all day long. I won't even run around. You know what I'm saying? But so when you see that, who are they gonna throw to, bro? Like, for real. Like,
maybe you.
Right? Just sell out against the run. And if they're 3rd and 4th, receivers or scrubs happen to beat Dane Jackson, which is likely to happen, then you just have to live. You have to live with that. But you don't want to freaking live with is them running the ball down your throat and giving up huge run after huge run and sustaining long drives, eating up the clock, because that's how you find yourself in a game where you get your butts kicked, right? Because we know the Bills are likely not going to run the ball; they're going to try to throw it still, And so if on the defensive side of the ball, you've got the Bills defense trying to play against this Bears running attack, and they're running the ball on the Bills, and they're eating up these drives, and they end up scoring, and then the Bills offense comes out and they try to sling the rock, and they go 3 and out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be tougher, and these defenders are going to get tired. So I think Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier need to just go all out, understand who your opponent is, and be willing to do whatever it takes to win a game, and just sell out against stopping the run. I don't care if Teron Johnson doesn't get much playing time. I don't care. Save him for the playoffs. But like, all right, Teron, this game, we're going to do a lot of heavy traditional 4-3. AJ Klein's going to come in. We'll bring you in, as needed. But for now, we're going to stop the run. And I think that's what the Bills need to do, man. Go heavy package, man. And yes, Chris, 716 says, just win, baby. Do whatever you got to do to win. That's what I'm thinking, man. And so I hope they do that, because That's really the only concern I have. Going up against this team, the Bears don't. I'm not afraid of the Bears at all. I'm not even afraid of the weather, right? I don't think the weather is going to, at the end of the day, I don't think the weather is going to stop the Bills from doing what they have to do, which is winning the game. But I think this Bills team needs to be smart in how they go about doing it, and finding a way to win this game. Do not, and I repeat, do not be stupid all game long and have a close game and then try to rely on Josh Allen again in the fourth quarter just to win, have a game winning. Don't do that. It's the Bears, man. Go ahead and knock them out early, right? You knock them out early. Get a 2-score lead. It's 14, 0 something. Get it, because they're not gonna pass the ball. Get them to be one-dimensional, where they have to get out of the run and pass the ball to win the game. Then you bring in Teron Johnson in the game when they do that, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you guys can be chilling. You can put Josh Allen on the sideline in the third quarter, and we're going home happy. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Right. And I'm just gonna say this one thing, Rev. I need Fields to score 2 touchdowns just because he's on my fantasy team and I'm in playoffs. Oh, I do.
Oh man,
I more than do. I need Fields to score 2 rushing touchdowns. Not 1 rushing touchdown, but 2. That's 12 points plus the extra 30 yards he'll get with that. So that's like about 15, 16 points I have in my back pocket from Fields giving me some rushing touchdowns.
You got to be willing to sacrifice, man. But I know you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but okay, it's playoffs. Like
playoffs, yeah. I feel you.
Playoffs.
I feel you, man. I lost last week, dude. So I'm mad. The way I lost that game was terrible, dude. Like, this guy I played him again. I played him last year. And we played in the championship game and I lost. And he decides last year at this game, at the championship game, to have his players decided to show up and just have a ridiculous game, right? Ridiculous game, like unheard of. They did that in the championship game when he won. This year,
this guy's got your number.
This year again, last week, bro, I'm third, and this guy was like fifth, I think. Anyway, I matched up against him. And he scored like well over 200 points, bro. Like way over 200. Like guys, he has Zay Jones. He has Zay Jones of all people. And Zay Jones hadn't had multiple touchdowns all year. I think he had 2 touchdowns all year. Last week against the Cowboys, he decides to have 3 touchdowns in that game and goes for like almost 100 yards receiving. He had like 30 points. Freaking Zay Jones.
Zay Jones, the guy who couldn't catch in Buffalo. It's crazy, man. Like, it was just one of those games, man. He was like, Rev, all that, what you talked about me back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Gonna have to make you pay. Quick story before we wrap up here, or whenever we're wrapping up. My buddy gave me this Nate Peterman card for Christmas. He stuck this in an envelope. This Nate Peterman rookie card. Yeah. Speaking of throwback.
Yeah, definitely throwback, man. Rico would love it. If Rico was here, he'd be like, "Hey, Peterman," But yeah, man, dude. Anyway, bro, like, I'm excited about this game, man. It's Christmas Eve, and I do not. And I said this about the Lions. I do not want the Bills and the Lions to mess up my freaking Thanksgiving, and I don't want the Bills and the Bears to mess up my Christmas. Mike Carlos says, "Yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice Evan's fantasy team for a Bills win." Sorry, Evan. You got me. Yes. Absolutely. It's Scott, like, Evan, we are not backing you on that one. Good luck, but no way. That's how I'm feeling, you guys. Like, for Evan, take that L. Take that L. Suck it up, Buttercup. The Bills got to win. And all, they have to win. And I don't want to see, man, I do not want to see Justin Fields with a rushing touchdown or let alone 2 touchdowns. I just do not want to see it. I do not want to see it. Evan, before we close,
I'd be a happy man because I know the Bills are gonna score more than 2. So
no, I don't even want it. I don't even want it at all. But before we end the show, man, we're an hour and 30 something minutes in here. I have to end it, man, with
on my mama. On my mama. I put that on my mama.
On my mama, Evan. It has been a while since I busted out the On My Mama tape, and so I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Evan, and to everybody who's watching right now live in the chat. I want you to give me your best On My Mama take for the Buffalo Bills, whether it be this game against the Bears or going forward the rest of the season and into the playoffs. Give me, Evan, your On My Momma take. Let me know when you're ready, man, because I'm putting you on the spot.
All right. I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Oh, here
Yeah.
you go, baby. Here you go. Let me solo you, baby. Evan, do you remember how to start it? You got to start with On My Momma. You ready?
I'm pretty sure. It's been a minute.
All right. Here you go. Evan, On My Momma, baby. Let's get it.
On My Momma, I think that James Cook is going to go ballistic this game against the Chicago Bears and not only have one 35-plus yard rushing touchdown, but he's going to have two. I think this is James Cook's day. He's going to deliver big. He's going to have over 100 rushing yards, and he's going to have two big plays, both 35-plus yards in a big Bills win over the Bears.
On My Momma. Evan with that fire. Love it, Evan. I love it. James Cook, man, look, I would be surprised if that happens, man. And I would love it.
Hey.
I would love it. But that's a huge take, man. That's what I want on you, and you put that on your mama, man. So it better happen. It better happen. I'm looking to see if anybody I'm looking to see if anybody in here has an On My Momma take so I can read live on the air. But you guys go ahead and think about it and drop it. I'm gonna give you my On My Momma take, man. Let me see here. Bobby gives that fire. Namdi says, yo, I love it. Big Time Bean gives you fire. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't Namdi. Namdi said, love it. James says, yo, McDummy pisses me off even more. That's his On My Momma take. Let me give you mine. Let me give you my On My Momma take, man. Look, check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo fanatics across the globe, Bills Mafia around the world, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, this is Rev with the fire On My Momma take. And I hope you're ready. On My Momma. Your Buffalo Bills, our Buffalo Bills, will not lose another game this season. Not just through the regular season, baby. You know what I'm talking about. They are going undefeated all the way through and will hoist that Lombardi trophy on My Momma. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. That's how I'm feeling, man. I'm feeling like this team is unstoppable. Namdi says, you're On My Momma. Fields will have a lost fumble in this game. I like it because I need the Bills turnover, right?
I don't like it.
I need it. You say you don't like it?
I don't like it. Namdi, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, I wonder if Namdi's being petty, man, because he knows that you've got Justin Fields playing. Let's see here. There's another one. I think I've seen another one. Let me see here. Go to Cash. Looks like Cash has an On My Momma take right above. There it is. Cash says, yo, Trey getting his first INT back in the lineup, no doubt. On My Momma. Oh, I would love to see a Trey White interception. Absolutely love it. Let's go. Let's see here. Who else we got? I thought I saw somebody else. I guess not. That's all. Come on, man. I need you guys to give me an On My Momma take. I want to say? I want to see Bobby. I want to see Bobby, and he's dropping fires. I want to see Bobby come in here with an On My Momma take. That's what I want to see before we wrap up the show. We're at an hour and 38 minutes, man. You got a minute to drop it in here. On My Momma, Jack Fitzgerald says, "Go Bills." Yeah,
that's a good On My Momma take. I like that one.
On My Momma take, man. That's a good On My Momma take. I don't see any others. Evan, do you want to do score prediction, man, before we close it out? Or you want to just leave it as is?
Do you want to save it for the pregame show, or do you just want to go?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's save it for the pregame show. Let's save it for the pregame show, man. This has been a great show. Shout out to everybody, man, who's been watching. You guys have been here strong, man, and just doing your thing. Thursday Night Football on right now. It looks like they also got the Bills Dolphins replay going on right now. I'm looking at it on NFL Network, so I'm going to check that out.
Not a bad one.
Yeah, not a bad one at all. I think that game is better than the Jags Jets. That's on right now anyway. But yo, shout out to everybody, man. Make sure you guys smash that like on your way out. Let me go ahead and stop my music, man. I think I want to go ahead and do this new one, man. This little Christmas kind of. No. You know, listen. The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands up and throw your head back and no, I'm not a mama. Go back to his. Fields held to less than 50 yards rushing. Go Bills. And and Evan.
They're praying on the downfall of my fantasy team.
Fuming.
They're praying for the downfall. Praying for the downfall.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned, baby. Tomorrow, we get my man Rico coming in with the Rico Report. Saturday, we've got pregame show with the fellas. You already know what time it is. And we've got the big game day Saturday, early game. Bills Christmas Eve game in Chi-Town, the Windy City, against the Chicago Bears. And you know what? Shout out to my man Bobby right now, Bobby Ray, for this fire thumbnail, because guess what? Guess what, baby? Guess what? The weather in Chicago will not end the Bills' streak. You can bank on that one. Bank on it. It's not going to happen. The Bills are going to secure this big dub Saturday, and everybody's going to have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And so, Merry Christmas to everybody right now who's watching and who's going to be watching the shows next week and the rest of the week and then watching the game. Shout out to everybody. Happy Holidays. Be safe. God bless. And as always, it's your man Rev. To this side right here, Evan, back at it again. As always, baby. Grace and peace. God bless. No, we're not doing it.
Bobby Hart MVP.
Bobby Hart MVP. Go Bills, baby. Go Bills. You guys have a great evening. The Bills make me wanna. The Bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands up and throw your head back and come on now. The Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it right now, baby. Come on, come on. Come on and shout. Yeah, Buffalo's happening now.